Hello, it's Crafty Ria. I am so glad you are joining me today. Happy New Year. I know it's the time of year where everyone is taking down their Christmas cards and all of their Christmas decorations and putting them away. Well, not us, right? We take down our Christmas cards and put them in our craft room or on our craft desk because we will be recycling them into new cards all year long. Since it is January, I'm going to focus on some winter cards, and then we'll get back into the traditional Christmas cards along with other cards along the way, as I usually do. I found these two cards in my stash. I haven't taken any cards down off of my wall yet. I'll probably do that next weekend. So this one here, I thought was a really, really pretty scene. Of course, I would cut the words off so it's not a Christmas card. It would just be then a winter card. And then again, this one as well. It's a very pretty scene. It has glitter on it already. I'm trying to get the light to catch the glitter just right. There you go. And it is very pretty and glittery, and I plan to use that as my focus on that card. I'm going to be making both of these an A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I have my two card bases ready. I have this one. It is a kind of a glimmery pearly color. I thought that would go good with this because this is not exactly a white background. It is kind of an off-white. So we have that. And then I have this bright blue, and I thought that went really well with this one here. So we have these two card bases that I'm going to be working with. These card bases were already made and in my stash, so I figured I'd go ahead and pull them out. I'm going to start with this one. So the first thing I need to do is cut the front of the card off, as always. Let's go this way. And then I usually cut the sentiment out of the inside, and I think I can go ahead and use this one. I'm going to leave the Have a Blessed Christmas off, only because we're making this a winter card instead of a Christmas card. And then you can always save the leftover large pieces of your white card. You can save it to make tags or to stamp images on or whatever you'd like to save it for. I have so many scraps that I just went ahead and threw it away. So I am going to cut this part here off. Now this would be pretty to save for another card, and I might put this in my card scraps box. I have a small box just for things like that. Then I want to look at this and see how much extra room I have, and that is pretty good. I do want to keep some of that swirl on there because I want it to look like it's meant to be. I'll cut it down just to the other side of that tree. I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. So that does leave part of that swirl there. And this card is 5 1/2, and I want to cut this to 5 1/4. There we go. And that way I think I have a pretty good border all the way around. I'm going to take another sliver off of this one side. And that dark tree then would be the edge. There we go. And this is something I could keep in my scraps if I want to use maybe on a tag. And then I want to mat this on this. I thought this pretty silver paper would really make it stand out off of this blue. So I'm going to cut this paper down to 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And that should give a really good size mat. There we go. All right. Let me go ahead and put some adhesive down on here. And we'll get this card glued down. Make sure I have my card opening the right way. I hold it in 2 corners, opposite corners, and then I line up the other 2 corners. So I hold it in these 2 corners and line up those 2. And that usually gives me a pretty even, and it helps me to set it down evenly. I eyeball it. I don't worry about it too much. So I'm holding it in these 2 corners and I'm going to line up the other 2 corners. There we go. And then for my embellishment on this card, I found these little stickers in my stash, and I thought the blue on here is like a metallic blue, and I thought it went really well. And I'm just going to put this snowflake right on there. I'm going to use a little bit of Elmer's glue on the back of this snowflake. I don't think it's a sticker. I don't think it's self-adhesive at all. I'm not sure. I never tried to peel it, but I don't think it is. It's like a piece of plastic. And then I'm just going to set that right on there. And that card is done, except for the sentiment on the inside, which I have that. Let me see if it fits on here. Nope, that is too narrow. So I'm going to go ahead and just mat it on this. I have my glue handy, so I'm just going to use my glue. This is Elmer's glue, and I put it in an old art glitter glue bottle with the fine metal tip. You can buy little bottles with a fine metal tip. And I cannot tell the difference between that and art glitter glue or any of the more expensive glues. I think using the fine tip is key. One thing I do notice, though, it does not clog my tip up as easy as the other does, as art glitter glue. Put a little adhesive on the back. And there we go. That card is done. I'm going to carefully set it aside. This is a non-porous surface, and the front of this card is shiny, so it'll take a little longer for that glue to cure. Now we have this card, and I have this card base. So let's go ahead and cut this card down. I want to cut the front off, and I'm going to cut off that border. Let me see what the inside has. This is definitely a Christmas saying, so later on I will cut that out and put that in my Christmas scraps box. I can use that inside of another card. I'm going to go ahead and cut this right underneath that saying. And I'm just going to put this whole piece in my card scrap box as well. I can use that on something else. And I'm just going to trim this bottom piece off as well. If there's a border on your card and you're only using 3 sides or 2 sides, I prefer to cut the border off because then it makes it look like the card was meant to be like that. So we have this, we're left with this, and of course it is not as wide as the card, or not as tall as the card, but it's a little wider. So I'm going to take off a little bit on each side. Actually, probably more on this side since there was a lot of darkness there. And then just a little bit on the other side. I'm going to make this 4 inches even. There we go. And then I'm going to cut the mat of the card, and I'm going to cut it at the full length of the card. So I'm going to use black to mat this because I think that really looks good. And I'm going to cut this to 4 1/8. And then my other measurement would be 5 3/8. I can't pick anything up today. My hands are cold. So we have that mat on there. That gives a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. And then we have this, which should be another 1/16 of an inch all the way around. I'm going to take another sliver off of this side. Just to give it maybe a little more of that border showing. And I'm going to make this towards the top of the card because I want to do something fun at the bottom. I have this white ribbon. I got this at the Dollar Tree, probably maybe springtime last year or the year before, and it's white, but if you can see, it is very sheer, so I don't use it on much. But if I'm putting it on this black background, it's okay if it's a little sheer, because it'll turn it a little grayish maybe. Give that a trim. And I store my ribbon like this. I made 2 pieces of Scotch tape, and I put the tape on backwards so it's not sticky on the inside. It's hard to explain. And then I just leave it on there on 2 sides, and it generally, this is a bad length of ribbon right here, but it'll generally hold the ribbon on my shelf, and the ribbon doesn't like come off the spool. So that makes it really nice. I want to see if I have enough room here. Yes, I don't have to trim the card that way. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down to my backing or my mat. I'm almost out of tape. You can see. I hope I have enough for the video. All right, and then I'm going to put this down at the bottom. That's perfect. And I will run my tape runner along the ribbon. I love the glitter ribbons from the Dollar Tree. That is one thing I miss about going to the Dollar Tree, is getting the glitter ribbons. And then I'm going to just go ahead and adhere this down. I make sure I get some tape on top of that ribbon on the back, just so it holds it in place. Make sure my card opens up the correct way, and line it up and press it down. There we go. And of course we need a little something on here. I have these stickers from the Dollar Tree, and I thought one of these would be perfect down in the corner. I love putting something, this one is not a full sticker, it is broken. Let me throw that one away. I love always putting something down on the ribbon. Some sort of an embellishment down here. I like it. And there we go. I broke it off again. It stuck to my finger. Let me see if I can get it to stick back onto the card where it belongs. Nope, let me get another sticker. I'm not having a good day here today. All right, let's try this again. I'm going to be very careful. There we go. We got the full sticker on there that time. And I think I will put maybe this big one up in this corner. There we go. So we have that winter card all done. And we have this winter card. Super easy, made from 2 Christmas cards, and these can be sent out anytime in January. If I don't use them in January, they'll be fine for Christmas. If you haven't yet checked out my Facebook group, Create with Crafty Rhea, please head on over there. The ladies there are awesome. And also, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, click on that subscribe button down at the bottom, and while your mouse is there, just click on the bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you. And until the next video, you know what to do. Go get crafting. Bye-bye.